All right, what are you guys doing in here? What's this room gonna be?
This is part of the hall conversion, and we're making it a mixed use building. So we can have it as a hall, we can have it as a classrooms for younger children.
Oh, good.
Or we can have it as a house where when we have guests that come, like our Archbishop or the Pope, they needed a place to stay, they can stay in this 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
You're pretty much doing a full remodel, right?
Yeah, we gutted it raw, like everything, all the drywall, everything was removed. We basically ran all new electrical, new plumbing, new AC system, new ducts. Everything is new in this place, new drywall. I mean, it was pretty bad because we had so much mold along the walls in the bathroom. This used to be the old bathroom. And there was a bunch of mold behind the kitchen cabinets, was a bunch of mold. So this was a very old building.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let's just gut it raw, clean it up, remediate the mold, and then move forward.
Okay, what's the next step in this room?
So there's a few steps. One is kind of filling, because the tub was here. So we're gonna fill in this hole right here. After we fill in the hole, we're gonna fill in that hole over there. The floor is gonna basically be ready to get the new flooring installed. We're gonna finish the drywall in this room. And this room is actually gonna be a utility room where the electrical panels here, the tankless water here will be here. The water filtration system will be in here. The water softener will be outside and right outside this wall. And then up there will be our internet switches and connections, right? So the whole property has WAPs, hardwired cameras, and Cat 6 plugs behind the TV and next to a electrical outlet. This way you can hardwire your laptop into the outlet so you can get internet directly. So if you're doing a Zoom call or like a VoIP call, you have consistent quality of your connection, so it's not gonna be choppy. And I believe that's gonna really add a lot of value for, say, someone coming and say, teaching a Bible study over Facebook or over YouTube. And the cost when you're doing a project in the beginning isn't much more.
Right.
It's not much more money to do it right the first time. A full spool is $100, which would roughly cover the whole house. Now, as you're running the wire for your electric, you also run the wire for your it's called low voltage, for your Cat 6 wire. And that, it would be only a little bit more money.
Okay.
So I have a philosophy: invest in the front end, save in the back end, make a lot of money, or save a lot of money. So then, either you're reducing maintenance or you're increasing the consistency of your income if this is like a rental property. So it just works out best in all angles long term. So I always think about what is gonna work today, what about tomorrow, and what is it gonna cost in the future if we have to go back and fix it. And when you consider all the factors, it's always just smart to do it right the first time and put in quality material.
Right.
And then you're not gonna go wrong, because something else will break later if you put in bad material, and it's gonna cost you way more to fix it a second time than if you just did it right the first time.
That's awesome.
And it's crazy to me how many times I see people do it wrong, put in cheap stuff, fix it a ton of times, and then still not change. It's just mind-blowing to me. Yeah.
So what's going on in here? This looks like quite the operation. Used to be a kitchen, I'm guessing.
So the kitchen was actually over here, and it was not functional, and it came over as like a U, and the sink where you wash dishes was in the corner. So you were just in a corner washing dishes, and it didn't make sense because no one could help you. There wasn't really any space to move around. So, and this was our hall. And the way it was laid out, because how the kitchen was, and there was a closet and the bathroom, it just wasn't laid out in such a way where you can actually maximize the usage. So even though I put in 2 breakout rooms here, because I relaid out the bathroom and the kitchen, we still have almost the same amount of space than we did before. We really didn't lose that much space, so it works out really actually well.
So bringing in function, you didn't lose any space.
Exactly. And especially if a lot of times there's kids sitting at one table or two tables. The kids can go into that room where they had their Bible study, and have their breakout after, where they come, they get their snacks and what they need, and then they'll go back in the room, and the kids are their own type of loud, and everyone has their own. The teenagers maybe be there in the other room, and then the adults would be here, and then everyone kind of would have their space in a way, and not be like frustrated, oh, the kids are being crazy loud or anything like that. Well, unfortunately, they tiled the floor right before the reno, even though they knew they were gonna renovate this property. And I asked them why, and they said time. And I'm like, yeah, that cost us a lot of time. They didn't save us a lot of time. So we had to figure out how are we gonna reposition the property in such a way where it didn't cost us all the floor. So fortunately enough, we just removed the flooring here, removed the flooring here, and we were able to save roughly, I'm gonna say 65% of the flooring that they did. And we're gonna put, because of this here, we can't try to get the same tile and match it because there's called dialots, which means it's color difference. So even if you got the same exact tile from the same manufacturer, the dialot will be different and it'll be a slight difference. And when you can tell, well, this group has a certain tint and this group has a different tint, why? And even if you get the same grout, it has a different tint to it. So you're gonna be like, why is this off? So since you're gonna be able to tell something's off, we decided we're just gonna cut the line and just make this dramatically different. So we're gonna have this marble tile installed instead.
Okay.
So as if it was purposeful.
Yeah.
Right, not that someone tiled before the reno and now we're stuck with getting around the project, right?
And
so
there's a lesson in that too, right? Like buy the same material that you need all at once, right? Like don't think I'm gonna go buy tile for another room, right? Later on.
Yeah, buy excess tile.
Okay.
When you're buying tile, you buy excess tile and you keep 1 or 2 boxes in storage because in case you break that one tile, many times they stop manufacturing that tile, so you're stuck. 2, you have the same tile with the same color in your storage, you can bring it back out and put it in.
Replace that spot.
And replace that one spot instead of the whole floor. And if you keep the bag of grout, you can keep the same bag, whatever remains, in a dry area. Because if it's damp, it'll get hard and you're not able to use it in a dry area where you can then try to blend in and match. And even if you use the same bag, if your water consistency isn't the same, the color will still come off different. So you have to literally have it. So doing any job in a remodel, the highest skill set is patchwork. Anyone can rip all the floor out, or many people can rip it all out and put in new floor. But you have to really be a skilled craftsman to be able to cut out one piece and blend that one piece in without it being noticeable. That is a level of skill. So people think doing remodels is easy. It is harder to do a remodel than it is to build a new home. And people don't realize that. Put the kitchen here. There's gonna be cabinets all along the back wall. And then over here is where we're gonna be putting the island. So right in this section right here, there'll be an island. So someone can be working in the kitchen, talking to other people. The TV will be over there so you can watch the TV. Behind here will be the stove, microwave, fridge, dishwasher. So, and there's exit this way or this way. And people are able to help chop vegetables if they're helping make food on the other side of the island. So that's another thing that we're bringing to the, how functional it could be. So as you can see here, we can flip this property so many different ways and be functional to all parties. And a lot of my properties, we're in downtown core markets because I feel that's where the demand will be for the next 15 years. A lot of people with money are gonna wanna be there and they're gonna be willing to pay for it. Downtown living, as we all know, is small. So if you can't give them width, I give them height. I raise the roof.
You raise the roof, literally.
So I raise technically the roof stays in the same spot, but I raise the ceilings to give them a higher, more airy feel, that whole cathedral feeling, and the exposed beams give them that like warmth, right? Because everyone's into that whole grays and whites now.
Yes.
Too much is too much, right? Like, don't dive deep in that trend because all you're gonna, if you guys remember back in when we were younger, you would go to someone's house and it would be like hardcore 70s or 60s or 80s. and we were in the 90s, you're like, man, that's tacky. Well, back then that was hot.
Right.
So understand, your all gray house or all monochromatic house where it's like whites and blacks and whatever, that is gonna be tacky very soon. So don't fall into that trend. That's why I try to go with I tie in warmth. Mm-hmm. So the floor is usually a warm feeling because wood tone floor will always be in style.
Yeah.
Right? What you wanna go wild? Paint. Because you can fix that.
Yeah.
If you go get black cabinets or gold cabinets, not handles, cabinets, it's gonna be a very expensive change. So I go with a white cabinet because I can always change the handles to give the feeling of whatever the time is, right? So I have like gold, silver, black, depending on what the fad is at the time. And then later, say that fad's out, change handles. Keep the cabinets.
Simple.
Keep it rolling. Yeah, because that's what you have to do. So where you keep, and I always paint every property the same color, white lye, and whatever painting you put on the wall, the wall will start absorbing that color. So if you put a yellow painting on, the wall will have a yellow tint, or an orange tint, or a red tint, or a blue, or a green, or a purple. So each room will actually look like it's a different color, but it's just it absorbing the other colors, and depending on how the light hits the room, each room will look like a different color. So that way you can just change the artwork or the decor and keep the paint the same, and you're still functioning. Now, in your own home, you wanna go wild, you wanna do whatever, fine. But if you're planning to sell the house in the next 5 years, you wanna offer something that everybody's gonna wanna offer. Everything is about planning and how you wanna set up what you're showing people so they can have the right feeling, because it all comes down to, honestly, feeling. I felt good. This feels right. So this is kind of an example of what I was mentioning earlier, where the Cat 6 plugs behind the TV so you can watch Netflix and plug directly into the internet to your TV, so your streaming is great quality for your sports or for your movies that you're watching, if you're watching like an HD movie. So and the coax cable's behind there as well. And down here is another Cat 6 plug where you would connect to your laptop so you can get, quality stream of internet to your laptop so you can have a great VoIP call or Zoom call. So these are the little touches that add a lot of value. And then next to the bedroom, you're gonna see that we're gonna put a plug that has USB Type B and Type C next to the beds. This way, when someone's laying in bed and say they lose their charger, they can connect directly into the plug and have their phone charged. So all those little things that are frustrating, because right now, what is it? A little plug for Apple or Samsung is $30. Well, if they lose their little, their adapter, now they can just plug right into our receptacle and get a good charge. So this is all these little things that just man, I saved money here, I saved money there, I saved money here, I saved money there. And all that adds up to a better quality of life. And I think that's what everyone's going to. It's not, I don't care that I have a 5,000 square foot house. I'm happy with a 500 square foot house. Now you think that I'm joking. My tenants today sell their multi-million dollar 5,000 square foot house, and now they downsize, they don't have any kids. They'll move into my 500 square foot one bedroom in downtown that has all of these features. The water's triple filtered and softened before you drink it, double filtered and softened before it touches your skin. Our AC systems are MERV 11 4-inch filters, pulls out mold, mildew, and pollen. We put UV lighting inside of the duct so it kills so it's antimicrobial, kills all of the little germs in the air. And all of our door handles are antimicrobial, so no germs are building up on the door handles. All of these features that you would get in a $1 million or multi-million-dollar home, you're getting them inside of our 500 square foot properties and cottages. So it's what we're gonna be moving for. You're gonna see is everyone's gonna be moving towards the downtown, and everyone's gonna be towards standard of living, a better standard of living, and better quality of life. And that's really the goal, is to enjoy their life and enjoy nature and enjoy just green, clean living. So I'm gonna take it to the ground level. One of the issues I saw when I walked in was how the drywall is touching the floor. Drywall functions like a sponge. And if any water rolls to the drywall, it's gonna start getting absorbed into the drywall itself. So it's really important to have the drywall be about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch off the ground. So if you were mopping the floor or if there's any type of leak, you aren't going to be in the need of replacing the drywall. So things like this kind of bother me, and try to make sure that all your drywall is around 1/2 inch off the ground. So this is the spool. It's about 1,000 feet of wire, and this is about $100 for material. So when you're having your electrician rerun all the wires for your electric, you can have him rerun the wires for your Cat 6 as well. And when you're having him already here doing one thing and just doing an add-on, it isn't that much more. So when you're getting it done, try to get everything done at one shot. I know you're like, man, this is gonna be a little bit more money and I don't wanna, I'm budget conscious. Budget is important, but if you're thinking I'm gonna get more quality for just $1,000 more, it's better to pay $1,000 now compared to you having them come back in 2 to 3 years and spending $3,000 to $5,000 then. So just a little bit more now, you get the better quality that's long-term. And if you're doing it smart, where you're doing your full remodel, then you're doing a cash out refi. If you did $100,000 on a remodel, if you did a cash out refi on a 30-year mortgage, usually it's only $400 more a month. So $400 more a month gives you a $100,000 budget on a remodel. And that is how I look at things. $100 more is, or $1,000 more is basically gonna be $4 more a month on a 30-year mortgage. So I'm okay with paying $4 more a month to add so much value for my tenants' standard of living.